When the podcast Serial ends tomorrow, it's going to leave a hole in the lives of millions of listeners. Mitch Weber can't deal with the emptiness, so he went out and found some great podcasts to fill the void. On The Breakdown.
From This American Life and WBEZ Chicago, it's Serial. One story told week by week.
Serial is the podcast everyone is listening to in their cars, on the treadmill, even at work.
I love murder mysteries, and I ended up listening to a bunch of them when I drove home for Thanksgiving.
Binge listening overnight, all of these different episodes. I ended up falling asleep listening to one of the episodes.
It offers something that you don't really get from radio anymore.
People are even organizing listening parties.
We had over 180 RSVPs. I thought if we had 20 people here, I'd be really happy, so this is really great.
The podcast is about reporter Sarah Koenig's journey re-examining the 1999 murder case of Baltimore high school student Haymon Lee. Serial storytelling could be credited for making it become the most downloaded podcast ever, which is even a surprise to Koenig, who thought it would just be another podcast.
We could try this little thing and I could just be in my basement.
Serial instantly connected with listeners who want to know if the victim's ex-boyfriend Adnan Syed should be spending a life sentence in prison for her murder. Listeners are still going back and forth.
I don't know whether or not he's guilty, but I don't think that there was, that they proved it without reasonable doubt.
There are even podcasts about this podcast. Katie Walden and David Haglund record the Slate Serial spoiler special, but beware, it's for fans who want to know more about the case.
I think David and I definitely do research more than maybe the average person, but there are no sort of inside sources.
The popularity of podcasting might be new, but podcasting is not. Podcasters cover all kinds of interests and are based all around the country, from Storybook Spotlight in San Diego to These Things Matter in Denver to even Pitchin' in the Kitchen in Tampa.
I was immediately addicted.
Jason Ferguson hosts from the Basement in Tulsa podcast, where he interviews musicians and comedians.
I think podcasting is becoming, it's being taken more seriously because of it.
Serial is definitely popular just because it is a narrative. People love to hear stories.
Jeremy Fuchsa, host of the Kansas City-based podcast The Shakes, sees the possibility Serial listeners could find other podcasts when they're in iTunes.
As long as they're there, they have the chance to discover us.
So you have plenty of choices to find the right podcast to keep you entertained until Serial comes back for season 2.